Welcome to Mixtapes. I'm your host, Eric Stangler, and right next to me is my co-host, Mr. Mark Moots. Moots, what's going on this morning, my friend?
Man, just finished my coffee a few minutes ago, and I'm enjoying the day, doing some editing for the YouTubes, and I think I might confuse you a little today, so this will be fun. Probably me too.
Awesome. I have no idea what it's going to be, but I want to say first off, thanks everybody that have been subscribing, watching, especially watching the YouTubes and also on the Instagram. We're starting to see some action on the Instagram. But what I want to talk about today, for a second, before we get into the show, is the Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
And like this is something I would love to see more people get into, and I'm probably going to change it so it's like you can just get in. I'm just so worried about fucking bots.
Sure.
But the Facebook group is Mixtapes Podcast Group.
Yeah.
Okay, it's easy to find. We've got some more members. I just looked, so that's awesome. But it's really cool conversation on some of the stuff that we talk about. But people are like throwing in their own 2 cents about things, which has been really cool to see. Um, but I want to encourage people to get into it more. There's some Claw on there has been throwing up some
Yeah.
really interesting, cool shit, which I've been enjoying. Um,
Yeah.
Ben is another one that's Dave DC5 has been putting some good
Yeah.
shit on there too.
Even
Um,
Brian.
y-
Brian's been throwing some good
yeah,
ones in. Yeah.
totally. We read all of them, man. We try to respond to. Finn's got some good stuff up there.
Mm-hmm.
Dave over at the Randy Rhodes Facebook page,
Yep.
he's been throwing up some stuff. But I'm going to encourage two of my best buddies to throw some shit on there because they threw a curveball at me that I thought was really interesting. It's Big T and Brado. Brado's on there. His name is Brandon, but he's been on there a bit. But what I wanted to throw at those guys is this: we were having a little group chat, and my buddy said, um, "It's not metal, but Blood Sugar Sex Magic could be a Black Album by the Chili Peppers." And I was like, wow, that's a really good point. And we kind of discussed it a bit, where it's like they really deviated from the funk stuff, like the funk, crazy funk, Parliament sounding stuff they
Mm-hmm.
did. And then especially Mother's Milk too. And that's a big departure, that record. There's a couple of ballads on that record. And then there's like another ballad that would have been on the record, but they thought there was too many ballads on the record. So they were very conscious of what was going on.
Mm.
And then it was an interesting talk because we talked about One Hot Minute, which is the Navarro record. But I'm like, Navarro wrote a lot of that stuff, so you can't really throw that in there. And then they doubled down on Californication, and then it just kind of went from there, where that was their sound now, and like this is where we're going. So I thought
Mm-hmm.
that was pretty cool. But that conversation
Yeah.
only existed in the group chat, and I told
Ah.
those guys, I'm like, you got to throw that on the Facebook group, man, because that's actually a very cool conversation that people could add to because we were very rock and metal, but it doesn't mean that there is other artists that didn't do that in different genres of music.
No, for sure. And I think that not only that, there are probably people in the group who like that band.
Yes. Yes. I know you're not one of them.
No, I hate them
Um,
a lot.
well, another thing too is you could do it with hip hop,
You could. Yeah.
like the whole G Funk era.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, did that change a lot of hip hop artists.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, also the gangster rap era in like what
Mm.
87, 88,
Oh, yeah. It
like
was huge.
Ice T and then NWA, and then it
Yep.
just goes. You know what I mean? It's interesting. It's interesting to see different styles of music do that. We're a rock metal podcast, so that's what we really talk about. But
Yeah.
in the Facebook group, we don't listen to just rock and metal, and we would
No, it,
definitely love to learn more from you guys, and also kind of jump into discussion. So
yeah, anything goes.
you know what I'm saying. So that's all I wanted to say about that.
Cool.
But we're enjoying that, so definitely sign up for that. We do have a Patreon, and the link will be on the video of this if you watch the YouTube. But we're gonna start putting the links in the show notes.
Mm-hmm.
It's a super small fee. We got 2 tiers, and we're starting to release content for it. We're gonna do more and more, but like we're a 2-man outfit right now, so it's plus full-time jobs and
Yeah.
families and stuff. So it's not like we can just do this and we're getting paid for it. We
No.
love what we're doing. It's all out of love, honestly. But if you guys want to hop on the Patreon, support the show,
Mm-hmm.
we are thinking about like what we're going to add for Patreon that we don't, like maybe like early release of the show if you want to catch it before it comes out. We just released like basically I hit record when Mark signed on, and you can kind of get an idea of like how we start our day with an actual segment, which was pretty fun. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're on the Patreon, you can see that. You can see what we edit out, which isn't a lot, but sometimes we have technical issues and we edit those
Yep.
out. But there'll be stuff on there that obviously will not be on. I think some of the segments are going to move there
Yeah.
because we're doing such stuff at a big clip right now that it's almost impossible to get everything on there without this waiting period. So we might
Sure.
throw some of these segments on, maybe the ones that people like, but we want to throw just make exclusives,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So we'll see. And your feedback is greatly appreciated. So if you guys have
Yes.
some feedback and go, no, man, don't do that, or hey, man, it'd be cool because like, look, we don't know everything, and like you might have a great idea for a segment where we might go, fuck yeah, that's awesome. We never would have thought
Yeah.
of that. I
No,
mean,
for sure.
that's kind of what the Patreon's for too,
Mm-hmm.
in a way. It really kind of helps us get a better show out there,
Yeah.
and build a
But I think that and the group, like, i- if we can hear from you guys, like what you're liking, what you don't like, what you wish you could see, what ideas that we could do, then we can give you a better show.
yes.
So, like, I don't want to have to use corporate terms like, audience polling or, stuff like that. But like, it's valuable. And like, if you're here with us and listening and watching and enjoying, we want to hear what you think.
I also think for me, just personally, just my 2 cents is I'd rather see a lot of people on the Patreon and just the Facebook group, those two, because you don't see so much shit on Facebook because of the fucking algorithm lords. And I'd rather be a place where you're like, hey, I want to check out what's up with mixtapes today, and you know where to go to do it. Because a lot of times it's out of sight, out of mind on Facebook. It's just the truth. I mean, Facebook is getting so bombarded with ads and other things, and even when you click on your little friends tab to see what your friends are doing, it only shows like probably 20% of your friends, and that's frustrating to me. So it's like a way for us to have a group and a way for us to have a Patreon and interact with you guys more. Like we're
Mhm.
telling the truth. I mean, it's the main reason I started the podcast is to get people to listen to music more and like talk about music because we got enough bullshit in our lives and in the world. It's always cool to be able to talk music with like-minded people,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and everybody's been very respectful for the most part, which has been awesome. So thank you for that too. I mean,
Hmm.
I don't want to turn it into like a mud fest slinging fucking insanity like a
Yeah.
lot of those places become. I mean, for me, it's like it's music is music, and if you feel like you're going to talk about stuff, then it's not going to be cool, or you're going to like especially like throwing out. I don't want to hear any stupid words being used to attack people. You know what I
No,
mean?
no.
And
Well,
if
just,
it's in fun, all fun, then that's cool too. Because right now we do know a decent amount of people in the group that are posting, so it's kind of fun. But like we just want to keep it. Let's put it this way: we want to keep it more intelligent than 75% of the internet. How about that? There's a lot of
yeah.
message boards that are just like, "Oh, you're fucking." It's like, what is the point, dude? Like the point is to learn more about music, and the point is to have your mind open up to bands that you've forgotten about that have new music out, or like
Yeah.
here's a band you never heard of that you kind of heard of back in the day, but you just your allowance money couldn't buy that cassette because there was 15 other bands that were on the list before that, or I didn't know if I wanted to buy it and then go, oh no, I hate this.
Hmm.
Like that's kind of what our group is turning into,
Yeah.
which has been pretty neat. So
Yeah. It's fun. Get in there.
get in there, and that's all we're gonna say. And Mark's Moots is throwing me into another world that I don't know yet. So it's live, pal. So what are you throwing at me today?
Well, okay. So today is going to be a bit of a surprise for both of us in a
Oh,
way.
okay.
So it's going to start with a question. And what I want to ask you is pick one of your favorite bands.
Pick one of my favorite bands. Do you have anything in mind?
No, I mean, obviously within our purview here, metal, hard rock
Sure.
stuff.
I'm just gonna pick Van Halen. Well, Van Halen's
Okay.
hard though for you though, right? Or no? Or does it matter?
It's relatively difficult for me, but you can do that if you want to.
Should I make it easier for you too?
You can.
I'll make it hard. I'll do Van Halen.
Okay. Cool. You're doing a Mount Rushmore of Van Halen songs.
Oh shit. Okay. That's gonna be really difficult for you.
Oh yeah, no, I'm fucked.
But we'll do one for you too. How about that?
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I gotta do like my own.
Yeah, let's do one together, but it's got to be something because you won't be able to do one. So let's do this. We'll do a Mount Rushmore Van Halen.
I mean, I could probably pick
And
four
you could
Van
pick
Halen
four, and then
songs.
why don't you do one that I wouldn't be able to fucking do much from? I mean, that makes sense too, though. To give me a shot for Christ's sake, right? Um,
Well, yeah. All right. How about this? I'm gonna totally derail this. Maybe we'll edit that out. I want you to do Iron Maiden,
okay, perfect,
and
perfect.
I will do Judas Priest.
Okay, all right. Yeah, because what I was going to do, we'll keep that in. Because if you
Okay.
did Van Halen, I was going to do a Mount Rushmore of deep tracks
Mm-hmm.
and a Mount Rushmore of like the best tracks, in my opinion.
Mm.
Okay, so we'll do Maiden, no problem.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, good. This is going to be good. Okay. This is going to be hard, and I'm going to do the same thing. Do you mind if I do a deep track and then do like
I
a
mean, I would encourage you to literally just pick yours, not like you're recommending Iron Maiden. Like these are my
no, but
favorite.
no, I'm not thinking that way. Like I'm not going to
Yeah.
do Run to the Hills and that shit. I'm talking about
Yeah.
like here's four I really dig, and then here's four deep tracks that I really dig. That way, the listener might go backwards. Does that make sense? And go, oh, I need to check that record out or whatever,
Sure.
right? Holy shit! Let me pull up Iron Maiden real quick,
Yep.
because Iron Maiden I really do like, obviously, and Ben Holsclaw.
Mm.
You're gonna love this episode.
Or
All
not.
right. No, he will because the thing that we're going to try to do because Jason Beard, longtime listener, had a great idea of like putting a poll on there.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I thought that was really smart, so we got to get on that shit. All right, so all right, Maiden has such an enormous catalog,
Mm-hmm.
and I can seriously pick something from every era except for the Blaze era,
Okay.
in my opinion, for sure. And I'm gonna do my four first that are not deep tracks, okay? But like I
Okay.
I really dig, okay? And then
Cool.
maybe you can go with me on that one, and then I'll do the deep track one by myself. How about that? You want
Yeah.
to
I
do
mean,
that?
I think I know a thing or two about Maiden, so I have opinions. But yeah,
Are,
I
are
my
they
my
are they
my
bullshit opinions?
usually, if you're a Maiden fan, they probably are.
All right. So
Um,
my
yeah.
maiden one, it's so funny. My regular maiden one is going to be really funny because I'm going to have some ones that are going to be considered maybe deep tracks. Okay. Number one for me personally, and I think a lot of Maiden fans will agree with me. Hallowed Be Thy Name
Yeah.
is number one on my Mount Rushmore. It gives me everything I want.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great tune. Um, I mean, Number of the Beast is Bruce's coming out party, like the actual song where he hits that scream.
Yeah.
But I think Hallowed is one of those tunes that's just it's such a great representation of where the band's going to go,
I think it's the best song on that album.
hands down. I,
Yeah.
I hands down is the best song of that album.
Yep.
I mean, it's yeah, it's easily the best song up to that point too, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Really,
would.
it
Yeah.
really is. So that's my number one. The
Cool.
rest will not be in order, just so you know. Your first pick.
It was actually going to be that song.
See, there you go. Look at us.
Like it really was. I think that just so folks know, like I do like Iron Maiden.
But you're way
I
more of a
don't. I
Priest
don't.
guy.
I don't dislike Iron Maiden. Let's
Sure,
put it that way. But I am not. I don't think I've never loved Iron Maiden.
sure.
So, um, but that song I think is undeniable.
It's so
Like it's
undeniable.
just
So
amazing, and like I don't. I can't think of a. If someone asked me what to listen to Iron Maiden, I would be like, that's the song.
yeah, I don't disagree. The other thing
So
that's funny about Iron Maiden is you could have a Mount Rushmore of long Iron Maiden songs. You can have a Mount Rushmore of different singer Iron Maiden Mount Rushmore songs. I mean, there's a lot of meat on the bone for sure.
yeah,
And
yeah.
all mine might be long, to be honest with you. Um, okay, so I need a number two. I'm going to go with the
Hmm.
first record. I'm going to go Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, okay.
Love that tune. There's a couple reasons behind it, though. It's a song I
Sure.
love teaching to guitar students that liked Iron Maiden because it was a challenge. It was 7 minutes long, and there's a lot of parts to it. Number
Hmm.
two, it's a very influential. The instrumental section is very influential in metal.
Hmm.
If you listen to that, you can hear the slow section of Master Puppets. You can hear many, many, many metal bands grabbing onto that.
Yeah.
It's huge. And honestly, I like Deano's voice.
Yeah.
I do like the Dickinson Maiden more, but I like Deano's voice.
Hmm.
And if I had to choose, it's between that or Killers because I absolutely fucking love the song Killers. But
Okay.
I like all the places that that song takes you, especially for 1980. So Phantom
Yeah.
is my number two.
That's cool. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah,
My second one would probably be the first Iron Maiden song I ever heard,
what's that?
which is Wrathchild.
Oh yeah, it's a great tune.
Um, and I remember hearing, the bass intro and just thinking like, this is it's great. I love Paul Diano's voice on. I think he was awesome. Doesn't mean I love those records necessarily,
Sure.
but I do like them. Again, just disclosure, Maiden people, calm down. But I think Wrathchild, even though it's obviously a fan favorite and one of the staples of their set, I just think it was that first thing where I was like, "Whoa, this is what Iron Maiden sounds like," and
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, I'm into that. So I think it's killer. No pun
No pun
intended.
intended. All right, so number three for
Hmm.
me, and like I said, these are going to be ones that I really do dig, but they're going to be ones that people know.
Hmm.
Um, I'm going to pick. What am I going to pick? You know, it sounds kind of funny, but I might pick something off Live After Death. Obviously, it's such a great live record.
Sure.
I'm going to pick Powerslave. And I'm picking Powerslave because I absolutely love that guitar solo. Me and Ben, uh,
Hmm.
listener of the group and one of my oldest friends in town, we actually covered Powerslave
Yeah.
a little bit ago, and that was so much fun. It was so much fun to play with them again. And but I love that. I love that slow solo. I love that. Might have been the first time I kind of heard Middle Eastern Phrygian type of stuff in metal, which I thought was cool.
Hmm.
Um, I love I love the live version. I love the studio version with the harmonies too. I think it's just a great tune. And like I said, I'm going for ones that people know on this list that I still
Sure.
love. Power Slave is going to be my number three.
Yeah. Power Slave is my favorite Maiden record.
Hmm.
Um, and I saw them on that tour uh, with Twisted Sister opening, and they were great. I mean, and Live After Death was super cool. But I actually was going to go to that record next, but my song would be Aces High.
Great song.
Yeah, I mean,
Great opener. Just
yeah, as an opener, it's
it's
like,
so good,
I mean,
dude.
I love 2 Minutes to Midnight as well. That opening riff is so nasty and cool, and
Such a great 1-2 punch, right?
yeah, it's. But if I had to choose, I think the Churchill speech leading into that riff is just chef's kiss. So Aces High.
Good choice. For my last one, right? Because I've already hit four. For my last one, I knew this was going to be an easy one for me. For my last one, um, I'm going to choose one. In my favorite record, I didn't choose any off of, but I will get one of
Mm-hmm.
them on the deep cuts one. But I'm going to choose Wasted Years, and I'm going to choose Wasted Years because I loved that little intro when I was younger. But that song hits a little different the older you get, and that's
Yeah.
one of those things that it's like good old Uncle Bruce was trying to give little Eric a warning at
Mm-hmm.
13 years old, like, hey kid, live now, live for now.
Yep.
Don't live your wish your life away. And then once you get older, you look back on those years as being wasted.
Yeah.
Um, it's a good song. I love the leads in it. It's probably one of the most catchy Iron Maiden choruses I would believe to that point. I mean, it's very, the harmony's great in there too. It's a great tune. And I also love for the big Maiden fans out there. I believe it was Top of the Pops, where they
Mm-hmm.
started like switching instruments and just
Yeah.
didn't give a shit because they didn't want to lip sync. I thought that
Yep.
was just, it's like, punk rock is, I've always thought punk rock was an attitude more than it was a music style.
Don't
And
tell
like,
Steve you're talking about punk rock and Iron Maiden at the same time.
but
He doesn't like that shit.
I will say right now, what's more fucking punk rock than on national TV in your home country, you deciding that you don't want to fucking lip sync, so you just start switching instruments and just
Yeah.
acting the fool. I mean, to
Just
me,
fuck it off.
it's
Yeah.
so punk rock, dude.
Yeah.
So,
I
so
agree.
that's my four.
Cool.
So what's your fourth?
My favorite Iron Maiden song, period, is Wasted Years.
Nice,
Easily. Like
nice.
by a lot.
See, I thought you were
Um
gonna give me like the side eye thing when I picked that one. That's
no,
interesting.
no, 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 no. I think it is a perfectly crafted song.
It really is.
Um, I think Bruce sings great on it.
Yep.
Um, the solo that Adrian
Yeah.
plays on that is one of my favorite guitar solos,
I
like
love
probably
it.
ever.
I love Adrian,
It's
dude.
perfect. I mean, song in a song idea that we talk about a
Yep.
lot.
Yep.
I think it's just one of my favorite solos I've ever heard. I think it's great. I think the lyrics are poignant and meaningful, and it's not super. I think Maiden can be a little overwrought and
Yeah.
take themselves a bit too seriously.
Seriously. Yeah.
And I think Wasted Years is just like a nice middle ground for that because it is serious, but it's not like earnest, and morose about it. I think it's a great song, and
We
so that's easily my favorite Iron Maiden song.
we should do more of these. These are
Yeah, it's
smart.
fun.
Yeah, these are
Thanks.
smart. These should be Patreon things for sure. These are
Could
smart.
be. Yeah.
All right. So are you gonna partake in the four deep cuts or is it just me?
I mean, I can try.
Okay.
I have it all pulled up over here on the side, and I'm looking at it, going, I don't know that song. I don't know that song.
All right, deep cut time. Here we go. Seven Son of a Seven Son
Mm-hmm.
song. I love it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculously long. I got to see him play it a couple years ago. It was super cool. I nerded out. I've actually taught it before, which is insane.
Okay.
It's just a cool tune. It's a song that you're never going to hear unless you have the album, and it's one of those ones where it's like you have to be in that frame to get through it. I mean, Maiden has some pretty long songs, um, but that one to me is a deep cut tune because if I said to you long song in your mind, you would think Rhyme and Ancient Mariner. It's probably the one that would pop up in
Sure.
your head. You know
That
what I
was the
mean?
first one that was long.
Right? And they did a 16-minute song, which is insane, but it actually worked. Um, but yeah, Seven Sun is my first deep cut. I love that song. It was the first
Okay.
Maiden record I bought when it came out. And it was just I don't know, that record's awesome to me. Take Can I Play with Madness off of that record, and that is a perfect record for me personally.
Mm. Yeah, I agree with Can I Play with Madness? That song is a head scratcher to
They
me.
just they just had that knack of like for quite a bit of time putting the first single as being the most not sounding like Maiden song
Hmm.
to lead out with, which I never understood. So
Yeah, it's very strange. It's a strange pull.
yeah,
Um,
for sure, for sure.
yeah.
What's your first one in the deep dive?
Deeper cuts for me. See, what I find funny about this idea, and we are running live, as we like to say,
Yeah.
I think if you're an Iron Maiden fan, there's like no such thing as a deep cut.
So true. So true.
So like me as a casual observer, essentially, if I pull a deep cut, there's going to be a shitload of dudes with Eddie tattoos going, no
Yeah.
shit. And it's like, yeah, but like I don't listen to them. So I'm trying here. But um I would probably go with I'd actually probably go with Murders in the Rue Morgue.
That's a good choice. That's a good choice.
Thanks. Thanks.
I only like three songs off of Killers,
Mm,
and we've talked about all three today.
okay. Well, there you go.
So
Yeah.
we've gotten that. And look, Killers has amazing production, and people are probably screaming at me through their whatever they're listening to on device. Um, but I think Killers is overrated because the album cover is so unbelievably iconic. and the
Yeah, it's
production
great.
value was so much better than the actual Iron Maiden
Yeah.
debut. And I think that I really do. Um, I don't know, man. That's just me, you know,
Hmm.
ate away. But that's a good pull, and that's
Thanks.
another great choice.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
It
Like
is.
I'm just gauging it on if I look at the songs, do I go, I can hear it.
Yeah, well, that's good.
So I can that one.
Here's one you've never heard. This is the second deep cut. It's
Okay.
off of an album that a lot of people did not like because they had to follow up Brave New World with an album called Dance of Death.
Mm,
One of the worst Maiden covers of all time. Good Lord.
easily.
Oh, so bad. Passchendaele. I
Sure.
fucking love that tune. Take a listen
Okay.
to it. I'm gonna make you listen to it sometime in the next couple days. It's a fucking cool ass tune.
Hmm.
It's definitely Maiden 3.0. Can we call it 4.0? Whatever the hell you want to call it. They got real proggy, and
Yeah.
I liked it. I like the proggy. I like the proggy thing, and that tune Passchendaele is just such a cool. Like Wildest Dreams is a single. It's awful. Um, Passchendaele is a tune they should have made a single because it's just so rad. So
Hmm.
um, that's my choice for number two.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard anything off of that album ever.
It's there's a couple great songs and there's a lot of
Dude, I
unfortunately.
just saw I literally saw the cover and was like, no,
Dude, the cover's
not even
so
gonna
bad.
bother.
Check out
I'm just
Passchendaele though. I think you'd like
yeah.
it. It's cool.
I mean, I remember thinking Brave New World was a nice return to form.
100%.
Um, but having said that, I probably listened to it twice
Yeah,
ever.
I like that record
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, okay. So my next one is going to be actually I really like the title track. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do Stranger in a Strange Land.
Oh, cool. Good. I'm glad that you got to that record.
Yeah, no, I really liked that record a lot.
I really like that record a lot too.
I mean, I think there's a couple turds on it, honestly, but I think and that record was tough for some people because of the guitar synth thing, and
Sure.
we talked about it in the when we were talking about Turbo. But I think Stranger in a Strange Land, it like the hook is great.
It
Like
so is.
and the how open the verses are, I think is really refreshing for Maiden.
Yep. Yep.
Um it's not triplet central with Steve. So that'd be my next pick for Maiden.
That's a really good pick. I'm gonna go to Brave New World,
Okay.
and I'm gonna pick Dream of Mirrors. It's the longest song on the record. It's a really cool song. That's an interesting record for me because I heard The Wicker Man because a student brought it in,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "What album is this song from?" It's like, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's a new Iron Maiden," and she was like 14, and I was like, "All right, good on you for digging Iron Maiden at 14 and like liking something new." And then I remember listening to it. I'm like, wow, like they figured it out. I didn't even know Bruce was back in the band. I didn't know Adrian was back in the band, and I didn't know they kept Yannick. And I was like, okay, so we got a six-piece Iron Maiden band now, and it's like almost like the classic Dickinson lineup.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, it's a cool record. I really dig it. And Dream of Mirrors is one of those tunes I remember listening to a lot. Um, I mean, Ghost of the Navigator's great on that record. Breaking the World's great on that record. The Wicker Man's great on that record. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff on that record. But if I'm going deep cuts, um, Dream of Mirrors is my deep cut on that record. So
Okay. Cool. Cool.
my last
That's
one's going to be hard.
yeah.
Honestly. So all right. So your third.
Oh man, that's God. We still got two. This is going to be tough. I'm fucking drowning here. That's okay. Let's see. I think again, my air quotes deep cuts are not, but like if I have to keep on with the show, I think Remember Tomorrow.
Another great choice.
Like
Another great choice.
it's an incredible
It's
song.
just so eerie in the beginning
Yeah.
too, and just it's just very cool. Metallica covered it, which was
Hmm.
interesting. That and Strange World are those two off that record that just I feel like they're starting to, kind of turn a bit,
Mm.
but like in a really cool way. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
that's a great choice.
Great song.
That's a great choice.
Yeah.
Okay, so my last deep cut. Oh, this is tricky because there's like two I want to say. But I'm gonna make the listeners go into the newer Maiden stuff because honestly, that's pretty deep cut stuff as is, right? So
Hmm.
I'm gonna go to A Matter of Life and Death, that record, which is an interesting record, and it's a record they were just gonna play the whole record for the tour and pissed off a lot of
Hmm.
people.
Hmm.
But I have a lot of respect for them doing that. Brighter Than a Thousand Suns. It's a very cool tune. It's a weird time signature, which is not a Maiden thing for the most part. It's one of those records you kind of have to listen to. A Different World is another awful song they lead off on that record. It's almost like they're not wanting people to find them. It's really weird. You know what I mean? With what they release as their singles. But it's
Sure.
one of those records that's smart to listen to front and back. It's kind of like a concept record, but not really. It's very
Okay.
interesting. A lot about war and a lot about, it's interesting. But I really do dig that song a lot. It's heavy, which is not Maiden like. It doesn't follow the
Mhm.
CDE progression, or
Okay.
sorry, EDC
Right.
progression. Um, and it's long as shit. It's 8 minutes and 46 seconds long, but
Hmm.
there's a lot of interesting stuff going on in that tune. That is my number four, ladies and gentlemen. I think I've given you a pretty damn good deep cut Iron Maiden Mount
Yeah,
Mushmore.
that's not bad.
How about you, Moots? What's your number fourth?
So that's tougher because I'm staring at everything and I keep thinking, yeah, 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 that one's okay. And then there's a lot I just have no idea. But I'm probably just gonna go with Flash of the Blade.
Oh, wow, that's an interesting choice.
Hmm. I like that song.
Yeah, but it's a cool choice because it's like one I don't think people would have chosen.
You
You know what
mean
I
I
mean?
did the right? It did it right.
It's definitely
Finally.
a deep cut.
Okay. Look
It's
at me.
definitely a deep cut. And
Yeah.
it's off of,
It's
I
off
mean,
Power
shit.
Slave. So yeah.
The hardest thing about that is, dude, I could have gone Still Life off of, which I think is such a brilliant
Peace of
song,
mind.
off of Peace of
Yeah.
Mind. I could have gone Alexander the Great off of Somewhere in Time, which I think is a cool
Really?
song. Oh, I love that
See,
middle
that's one of
section
those songs I'm like,
that you're like, whatever about. I was early in my life, and then it just
hmm.
kind of, when I started running, Somewhere in Time became
Were
a,
you lonely when you were running?
I was by myself. But Somewhere in Time is a great album to run to.
Okay.
Holy shit, it's a great album to run to. Um, but that song grabbed me more because I would just listen to that whole record, and I knew if I listened to the whole record, I was at like a 4 mile, somewhere around there for 4 miles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was kind of one of those things like, all right, yeah, like I know if I get through this whole record, then cool. And then it became like, oh fuck, I'm only halfway into it. I'm tired. I don't want to run anymore. So then I
Right.
started listening to the podcast more. Um,
Sure.
all right, amigo, it's
Mm-hmm.
time for Priest, and I think it's very smart you did this because you have the Priest and Maiden camp where it always seemed like you had to like one band more than the other. I think everybody could really like both bands. I was more definitely the Maiden guy than the Priest guy. You were definitely more the Priest guy than the Maiden guy.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
this will be kind of fun. Um, all right, let's do. Like, you want to do the same thing? I will probably fail miserably at the same thing,
Sure.
but I can definitely give you a Mount Rushmore.
Okay. So we're gonna do easy and then deep cuts. All right.
Yes, sir.
So
And you started off.
and not like hits, I'm gonna say. Like I'm not gonna do any hits,
Okay.
really. And I don't think we did with Maiden either,
No, I
I would
don't think
argue.
so.
So I think my first song, and this I'm just kind of operating off the top of my head, I would probably do the song Screaming for Vengeance.
Okay.
Title track,
Yep.
1982 album. Um, I think that song is amazing because it's everything of Judas Priest all at once, and like Rob is fucking amazing on that song. Um, the riff's cool. It's super upbeat and the pace is great. And I think it's an awesome tune.
All right, you ready for my first one?
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Be Good.
Fuck you.
No,
No,
I'm
it's
gonna
not.
I'm gonna pick from that same album, but
Okay.
I'm gonna ask you: do I combine the Hellion with Electric Eye?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's my
Yeah, I
choice.
mean that's one song.
Yeah, that's my choice. Even though like it's broken two songs on
One of the
Spotify,
best
which is stupid. But what a great
openers
oh
ever.
dude, it's just if you've never heard Priest and like you get
Hmm.
into that song, I don't see how you don't fall down the rabbit hole. And that to me is just a fucking banger, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so good. I like Priest, and Priest was a confusing band for me though. Because
Okay.
when I got into Priest in the beginning, it was like Breaking the Law, Another Thing Coming, Head on the Highway, those type of things. And then you hear like, oh wait, they don't really sound like that too. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And that was what was interesting for me. So it was like, oh, okay, like I kind of get this now. You know how like some bands
Yeah.
they kind of trick you.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know what I
yeah.
mean?
Well, and I do think that Priest, um, more than Maiden, their natural inclinations did like they have the "You've Got Another Thing Coming" and stuff like that, but then they also like they always had a single that wasn't
Always.
necessarily wholly representative of what they were capable of, you know.
Right.
Um, Especially as you get into about, well, really British Steel is when they, you know, were like, oh, new wave of British heavy metal. Watch this.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, remember us? You're going to.
Yeah. I know you kind of read
Um,
my mind too, to be honest with you.
yeah. But I mean, Electric Eye, yeah, like I said, I think it's one of the best openers ever.
Yeah.
Like for a heavy metal band, it's like you don't do it better than that. You
No,
just don't.
no, I don't think so.
Um,
It was the first. It's
yeah.
the first one I always think about. You know, and it's like when you said like a Rushmore, I'm like, normally I can pick the one tune, and then I
Hmm.
think it's pretty hard to like figure out what would be two, three, and four in terms of like orders.
Sure.
But like for me, that's the number one.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's a good, good pull. Okay. Oh man, let's see. I have to say Victim of Changes.
That's a good choice.
Um,
That's a really good choice.
I mean, there's several. It's funny because I'm probably having the same problem you did, where I'm looking at the albums and songs, and it'd be like, well, I could probably do eight off of that album, you know, where
Oh,
or
easily. Right,
like
right.
I could do almost this whole thing and be like, yep, that's it. But I think Victim of Changes, it's a signature song. It's progressive and clever. Halford, like especially the version on Unleashed in the East.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And that's such a, I mean, you know, we know the backstory of that record where Halford
Mm-hmm.
basically sang it live in Ringo Starr studio.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah. One
um,
take
oh, I
all
got
the way
some,
through.
you know what? I got some, I got some good ones.
Cool.
Like for the deep cut ones.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's my number two. Um, just because I think it's one of those tunes that I just remember thinking, oh, this is kind of badass when I was younger. Maybe it's a hit to a degree. I don't know. Hellbent for Leather.
That's a great song.
That's my number two.
Yeah.
It's one of those tunes that I don't know. I just really dig it, and it's like I like when Rob, I like when Rob pushed his voice more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where it's like you could, I don't know. You know what's funny about that guy is he could have gone either way as a singer.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had a really
Yeah.
good sense of melody, and then he just had like he could just scream his ass off, and it was like
Yeah.
interesting where he almost kind of knew the balance between like, so you take a song like Living After Midnight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
You take like a Break in the Law. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But like, do you need a bunch of crazy screams and shit in that
No.
tune? No, because it doesn't make the song better.
Well, it didn't serve the tune. There's that one little scream right before the solo, and you've got
Sure,
another thing coming. The rest of it's really straightforward.
100%. And like that little scream makes perfect sense where it
Well, and
is
it
too.
sets the solo up. Like
100%.
Rob to me is like he serves the song more than
Yes.
anything. And
Yes.
it's not pyrotechnics to show off. It's just like this is what needs to happen.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think he's the best. So,
You do.
yeah, no, Hellbent. I mean, come on, riding out on the Harley, and yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
So what's number
Okay,
three for you?
my number three is going to be. Now I'm having to look because I have to think a little bit. Um, I'm actually going to go with something off of Point of Entry, which
Okay.
is not typical. Um, but I really like the song Desert Plains.
Okay.
Um, if you heard it, you would probably know it. I mean, there's a couple. Solar Angels is so good. But I think I'm going to go with Desert Plains. It's one of those songs that you were just referring to, where it's a little more straightforward and a little more reserved from Rob, but the song is stronger because of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably a hot take a little bit because that was not a successful album for them.
Yeah,
But
but that's good though. I like that. I mean,
mhm.
it could have been in your deep cuts, but I
Yeah,
like
but there's a
that.
lot of those too. So
Well, and I know so it's going to be interesting.
yeah,
I'm gonna go. I'm on track three now, right? Right
yes,
for the of Rushmore. I'm gonna go
yes,
Metal Gods.
yeah, great.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Simple enough. I mean, it's like my four are going to be really just strong Priest tunes that
hmm
I think if you're in the middle with Priest in terms of like you're not a super fan, but like you're not a casual fan. I think this
yeah,
is where my four are going to fall. But like I said,
cool.
my deep cuts are going to be interesting. So
Nothing wrong with that.
that's going to be my number three. I'm really
Cool.
trying it, like, because yeah, you'll see what happens. So
Yeah.
that's my three, and then number
Okay.
four for you.
Sentinel.
Nice, great fucking choice.
It's like that's my favorite Judas Priest song.
Great fucking choice.
Um, like I kind of talked about with Scream for Vengeance. It's everything in of Priest all at once, but this is like it's epic. The storytelling is really cool, like because they Priest likes to create these characters, sort of, that Rob sings about. Like
Mm-hmm.
in the Sentinel is this character who's a sort of a post-apocalyptic gladiator, and but like there's really the middle section. It has this really cool atmosphere with the kind of vocoder thing and tremolo on the guitar, and it's perfect. His vocal performance is just stunning, and Glenn and Ken kill it. Like there's nothing better than that for me.
Okay. I can't choose it because we're going like not we're not doing singles, right? So I can't really
I
choose
mean, you
this.
can. I made it
I'm gonna
clear that
do
I would
this.
not.
I'm gonna do this because you're gonna respect my choice on this one because you're gonna get where I'm coming from on it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna choose Painkiller,
cool.
and I'm gonna choose Painkiller for a couple reasons. Because as the listeners are learning more, me and you are metal dudes,
Hmm.
and we were both playing in bands at the time Painkiller came out,
Yeah.
and every drummer I knew, probably like every drummer you knew,
Hmm.
like try to learn that intro,
Yep.
right? I also think it's like a very cool, like, I feel like that album is like, hey, we're trying to be fucking metal. Like we realize what happened with Turbo, and we talk about Turbo in
Yeah.
the Black Album episode, so go check that out. Um, and I just feel like it's one of those like, oh, okay, like it's very just and it's one of those ones that you probably heard it too much. I probably heard it too much,
I've heard it way too much, but
but
yeah.
I just feel like it's an important Priest tune that kind of has to go on my Mount Rushmore because I feel like where they could have completely imploded in that time period, they didn't.
Yeah.
And I think that album in general is the album that helped them not implode. But I think that song was, man. I mean, I remember hearing that song as like a 15-year-old kid and just going, wow, like what in the fuck? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Well, and you
it's got to be up
figure
there for me.
they had the slight misstep with Turbo.
Yeah.
Ram It Down didn't do anything.
No.
And then the lawsuit happened
Oh,
where
was the
there
lawsuit there too?
the
At
suicide thing
exactly that
happened,
time?
and they're in Reno, and there's a few years in between um, Ram It Down and Painkiller.
Yeah,
Painkiller
two.
is their return.
Yes.
New drummer Scott Travis from
Yep.
Racer X,
Yep.
and like Priest came out to like show the world
They were swinging on that record.
they're still the metal gods,
Yeah,
you
they're
know,
swinging.
and they did. So, yeah, like I say, I think there's a lot of good songs on that album. I'm just kind of tired of that track, but I
Oh, totally.
cannot deny how important and great it is.
It's one of the
It's
main
probably
reasons
a
I
little too
chose
much
it.
solo. But
You just have to. I mean, for
yeah.
me, I had to put on my Rushmore because it is an important Judas Priest track,
Oh
and
yeah.
them coming back, and especially with what was going to happen in that decade in terms of
Uh-huh.
metal, it
Oh yeah.
was, and like, I mean, dude, even that year and the year after that,
Hmm.
where you've got Pantera hitting with Cowboys and then Vulgar, you
Well,
got
they took
Metallica
Pantera out as their opener on
and
the
on the
Painkiller
European
tour
one,
in
right?
Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And think about this. Then you have the Black Album. Like,
Hmm.
there's a lot of we. I mean, like,
It
it's
was
like,
an interesting time. Yeah.
which path do you choose? And I think they
Yep.
chose the correct one personally.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so that's my four.
Cool.
All right, deep cut time.
So deep cut time. I think so. My first one, I'm going to say off of the Scream for Vengeance album, Bloodstone.
Okay.
Um, it's just Rob. Most of this look is Rob to me. Um, I love Glenn and KK's riffs and their playing, but Halford to me is the thing that separates Priest from anybody. If we're talking heavy metal, like pure heavy metal, traditional, like sorry folks, you
Yeah,
don't beat him.
I don't disagree with you at
Not
all.
on his worst day do you beat him.
No, I don't
So,
disagree. And like the staying power is amazing.
oh, he's still killing it.
It's so stupid. It's amazing.
It really is.
Hats
It's
off to you, Rob. I mean, it's
oh yeah, no,
it's
I
insane.
but yeah, so Bloodstone off of Screaming for Vengeance.
Okay, here's my first one. Like I said,
Okay.
mine's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Uh, Better by You, Better Than Me, and I'm
Speaking of suicide.
and that's why I chose it
Mm-hmm.
because that's the tune that
Mm-hmm.
was hammered to death at that trial, which was
Yep.
in Reno, right?
Yep.
I didn't live here yet, but you definitely and you have a cool story that we'll probably tell on the
Mm-hmm.
Patreon about that
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
and interaction with you and Rob. Um, but that song, like whether people knew what the song was, you heard that in every news clip.
Definitely.
I mean, that just what you heard. And it's like it got to the point where it's like it was almost catchy enough to like end up liking it. And
Mm-hmm.
then and the history behind it is why I chose as my first deep cut. So it's like
Yeah.
it's a weird deep cut because it's like one of those ones where people don't say that song by name. They say, "Oh,
No.
do you remember the Priest trial where the kids killed themselves and they tried to sue Judas Priest for the hemisync?"
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Like, and we a friend of ours, engineer Tom Gordon,
Mm-hmm.
was involved with
Yep.
that case too, on the audio end of it. So it's like
That's right.
there's a lot of history with that time period in Reno, Nevada, and
Yes.
that's my first deep cut choice because I thought it would be an interesting one.
Cool. Okay. So my next one I'm gonna pick probably will surprise some folks, I would say. I'm gonna pick a song off of Ram It Down.
Okay.
Um, and the song is Blood Red Skies. Um, again, Rob's vocals are crazy. But it's kind of one of those their big epic songs. I don't think there's no actual bass playing on this album. I think it's all keyboard. It might even be drum machine,
No,
if I'm being
no,
really
it's
honest.
bass playing.
Is it?
Yeah,
Well, it's not on Painkiller. So,
no Nathan East
oh, that's right.
plays
It
the
was a
bass
different
on
person.
Ram It Down.
Yeah, that's right. It was a
Yeah,
different person.
yeah.
Um, but Blood Red Skies is a really cool track. I think it's honestly, I think it's the good track on that album. But it was a good enough for me to be like, it's a banger.
There you
And
go.
again, Halford just puts on like a clinic on how to be the best singer in the world.
Which you gotta love.
Yeah.
I'm gonna I'm gonna go in a direction that hopefully will make people listen to this record more.
Hmm.
I'm gonna take something off Invincible Shield because
Yeah,
I just fucking love that record, man.
it's
Like,
great.
just right out of the gate, and I think it's like I almost feel like I think you told me this, and because I was like feeling it was like this and that, and you're like, it's kind of like the best of everything you like about Judas Priest.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna go with the Serpent and the King
Mm.
because it's got such a great fucking chorus.
Yeah.
It's such a strong chorus.
Yep.
And Richie's such a great addition to the band. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
he
he saved
really
them.
he did, and he's just such a great player. But he
Yeah.
kind of understands his role too, which I
Hmm.
dig. Like he knows I'm in Priest, and like I feel like he's brought Priest into like modern times, still keeping it Priest, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I
You
think
know,
I think there's like one foot in the legacy and another foot in the present. And I think
100%.
Richie bridges that perfectly.
Yeah, because you
And
don't.
he's an insanely good guitar
He
player.
really is, and you don't feel like you're chasing something
No.
with him in the band. Where like we've talked about that with Metallica, where like they're doing certain records, and you're like, oh, this is the Kill 'Em All record with better production. Cool.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Totally.
I
Yeah.
don't I don't get that. I feel modern stuff for sure, and then I feel classic Priest with this record,
Yep.
and to me that's
No, I think that album touches on basically every era of Priest is
yes,
represented,
100%.
and really respectfully and at a high level of execution. So
Yeah,
yeah, I mean that and Firepower both are like
yeah. Welcome
they're
back.
insane. Welcome
Um,
back.
what's the last one for you?
My last one. So interestingly, and again, look, I could probably this is hard for me because I'm looking at all these albums and it'd be like I could pick three or four easy. Like,
Yeah,
but I'm trying to go a little deeper and think about
sure.
it more. So, um, after the Ripper era, not the song, the guy,
Right.
um, I wasn't sure. But it was kind of the like, what is going to happen to Judas Priest? Because like
Sure.
Tim's technically a really good singer, but like the Priest records didn't really work for most of us. Couple songs off Jugulator, but I'm not going to list those right now. Then Rob came back and they made an album called Angel of Retribution, and the opening song is Judas Rising, and I think it's a fucking great song, and it does what it says. Like it's like, oh, they're back.
I'm going to ask you something, but I'm not going to ask you until I pick my fourth one.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm literally going to pick another one off Invincible
Cool.
Shield, because I really fucking dig this record,
It's a
man.
great record.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, it's just one of those deals. And I'm honestly going to pick Panic Attack because I
That
feel like
was
it's that
cool.
tune, like right off the bat. That's like, you know what I mean? Like you look, you're in or you're out when you hear that tune,
Yep.
and I think that's just like I think that tunes because I remember I don't think you really liked that track at first when you heard it, and then I think you kind of warmed up, and then like the whole record, you're like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like it was. I think I remember you
Yeah.
like in the beginning being like, And I think I
Yeah.
remember being the one going, dude, you got to listen to it again, listen to it again, and then I remember you were like, oh yeah, like you're right, like
Yeah. I think I thought it was fine when I heard it the first time. Um I liked it more once because we're old. So the album, like context matters to
it
me.
does.
I don't think that as a single it was enough to make me go, "Oh wow, this is amazing." It was more like, "Yeah, yeah, but that's probably what that's going to sound like." But when I heard it in the context of the album,
Yes.
it was like, "Okay, I get it." Um, yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
it's
a great
cool.
point. That's why I
Yeah.
like that tune because in the context of an album,
Hmm.
it's like a good starting song to kind of
Yeah.
like get you into the record. And then
I
and
still don't
sometimes
like the intro, to be fair. But
I
other
do
than
like
that,
the intro. Yeah,
it's a
that's
little turbo, isn't it?
it is a little. Yeah, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It's on my
and that's
list of
okay.
it's on my list of things to go back to because, ladies and gentlemen, going to give a plug to some of the older
Hmm.
shows. We did a really cool episode on Metallica Black Album
Hmm.
Mount Rushmore sounding things. I went back and listened to the Legacy
Oh, the
and the
ritual.
Ritual. God damn it, I keep
Yeah.
confusing the two. Sorry. We could easily do a Mount Rushmore of records we thought were really bad that aged better than we thought.
Oh, cool.
That
Okay.
might be on there. I still didn't care for it per se, but it wasn't as bad as I had originally
Mm.
thought. But there are two ballads on that, and Return to Serenity
Right.
is the big ballad that I
Right.
couldn't get behind.
No, when you sent me that, I went, oh yeah, that was that song,
That
wasn't it?
was, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
Great production. Skolnick's playing is really good on that. I'm not gonna
Sure.
lie. I mean, not that Skolnick ever has played anything bad, but like it's really good production, really good playing. It's just, it's not what I wanted as a 17-year-old kid
Hmm.
where I was way into like thrash. I just
Yeah.
it was not there. So I want to ask you,
Hmm.
Nostradamus was their big swing and miss, right? Or did you end up liking that record?
No, no, I've never liked it. Um, I
So,
saw them on that tour even, and it was, yeah.
so let me ask you this. So that's the record that's right after Angel of
Hmm.
Retribution. Were you like, oh fuck, that was just, you know what I mean? Like,
A
it's like,
little.
right,
I kind of was like, oh no, was that like the flash in the pan or like because Nostradamus, man, it's rough. It's a double album concept album.
right,
Like
right. I
it's
remember like when they were like talking
there.
about that
Oh
record, and I
yeah,
was like, in my head, I was like, I don't think this is a good idea.
I think it wasn't. Um,
You know what I mean?
I yeah, I listened to the whole thing once, and then I was like, there was literally I can't remember anything about it that grabbed me. It was all just kind of like, eh. Redeemer of Souls, the follow up is better.
Yeah,
Um, it's okay. Like there's some moments on it, but you know, 10 years later after Nostradamus, we get Firepower, and it's like, okay, so there we go.
yeah,
There's Priest again.
yeah. It's interest.
Um,
It's interesting, right? And it's
yeah.
like we've talked about, in previous episodes. There are bands that find that mojo again.
Hmm.
And there are. And I think a lot of people will give up on bands and then they miss out on that.
Yeah.
And there's no excuse anymore. You said a good thing when I interviewed you before you were on the, like, a co host on the podcast about Queensryche.
Hmm.
Got Queensryche in another episode. You're welcome.
Every episode,
Uh,
folks.
um, where you said, are you really a fan if you don't give every album a chance?
Yeah.
And I thought that that really stuck with me after the interview was over because I'm like, that's a really good point. Like, how can you say that you're a fan of a band if you don't at least try to give an honest chance to each record they put out? Because you're just like, hey, I like these records and that's it. And that's cool.
Sure.
But like,
And
if a
that's cool.
band that you really like, I feel like, especially in this day and age when it's too easy not to,
Hmm.
like you just push play and you can
Yeah.
listen and go, yeah, no. Like I always joke around on the Metallica episode, like
Hmm.
good try, gold star, like participation trophy, but like it's not doing it for me. And it does not mean that it can't do it for other people.
No.
Like, but just for me, I'm like, my Metallica was literally 84 to 91, and I'm really
Sure.
stretching 91. It's really more like 84 to 88
Hmm.
really was my Metallica. And like, I'd hear little things here and there. I'd go, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. But like it just didn't hit for me ever again after that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to. I rooted for them to be like, all right, like the Death Magnetic. I'm like, oh, little clips I'd hear. I'm like, oh, okay, this is kind of sound like, this would be the album they should have done after Justice. And then it's like, or even Black, you can say. And it's like,
Hmm.
you get it, you listen, you're like, nah, you know what I
No,
mean?
not so much.
But I will listen to every Metallica record when it comes
Yeah.
out. I will just give it a shot and go. Same thing with Megadeth.
Mm.
There's certain bands I will like, and going out of that realm, Black Crowes, The Cure. There's bands I will just listen to every record just to go, No, because you can be surprised. And that Priest record was like, whoa. That Cure record was like, whoa.
Yeah,
Like,
dude,
dude, that
so
Cure
good.
record. So that Cure record is like a Suicide Watch record, dude.
Yeah,
It's
it's
so
something else,
dark
man.
and deep, and but it's
It's
really,
beautiful
it
though.
really is though. There's a lot of introspective stuff on
Yeah,
that record. There's a lot.
yeah.
It's just I need to listen to that record again. It's that one hit me hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know
All
where
right.
where I was in my life when I listened to that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, there are records you should go back and check out from bands that you dig. You know that you have a
yeah.
history with, especially. And I'm going to say this something that's going to maybe offend some people, and people might disagree with me, and that's fine. I don't care. I feel like you owe it to them. As weird
Mm.
as that statement just said, sounds like, I feel like you owe it to them. I feel like if that band brought you a lot of happiness,
Mm-hmm.
if that band brought you a lot of memories that still come up in your brain, like, I feel like you owe it to them to check out
Sure.
something they put out that's new. And it's very easy to just go, nope.
Yep.
And that's it. You're not spending money. You're not,
No.
you know what I mean? The only thing you're
Well,
losing is
no more than you
time.
already were.
Yeah, and you're losing time, but not
Sure.
really.
Not
If
much.
you know that it ain't going anywhere, it's very easy to skip through songs if they're not grabbing you in the first 30 seconds. Like that's the big radio program director thing they would do back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, anyway, we're getting off
Yeah.
topic a little bit. I
No, it's good.
apologize,
That's all right.
listeners.
Um, yeah. So Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, that was fun.
It
I
was
do think
hell
at
of fun.
some point we're just gonna have to have a debate.
On those two. Oh,
I
jeez.
think so. Probably have to have some guests or something
I
for
think
that.
that'd be great to have some
But
guests for
um,
sure.
but I think it's yeah, maybe there's a two men and or one man leave kind of
But
situation.
I will I will tell you this though. This was a great choice on your part, and I really do
Thanks.
feel like this could be a Patreon exclusive
Yeah, move it
because
over there.
we
Yeah.
can deep dive a ton of these, and they're real easy to do depending
Hmm.
where what lanes we're in. And I think it would be fun. And like I said, deep cut and just the four or just the four. I mean, we could do an honorable mention or two, which we didn't even do today. So like,
Well, I mean,
there's a
we've
lot of meat
talked.
on the bone, dude.
Yeah, there's especially for with Maiden for you and with Priest for me, like I could go through their catalog and talk about virtually every song with some level of reverence,
Yeah,
you know.
I could do the same thing, and then I can
So,
definitely do the ones where I'm like, yeah, this was
mhm,
the big mistake album, and but here's
yeah,
the one song off the album that's pretty good.
totally.
You know
Yes,
what I mean?
exactly.
Like that is the truth, and it's kind of a not on purpose plug, but like maybe this is something that makes you hop over to the Patreon.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think it'd be fun to have these discussions, and I think it'd be fun as hell for you guys to give us bands to do.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
think
for
that'd
sure.
be super cool. So,
Yeah.
as we bring this home, any last words, final words on our conversation today?
I'm gonna say just listen to Defenders of the Faith by Judas Priest. That's what I'm gonna
That's a
say.
great call. For me, I'm gonna say listen to some newer Maiden that you probably wouldn't
Mm.
have given a chance to. You need to listen to Passchendaele though. I want you to listen to that song, and you'll probably be
Okay.
like, it's all right."
Yeah, right.
I know you already, but
Yeah.
I want to get your opinion on like, hey, you were kind of right. It's not like your stock Maiden thing. And I
Okay.
think if you're gonna listen to some new Maiden, I mean, in all honesty, I don't think you can go wrong with Senjutsu. I don't think you can go wrong with Book of Souls. I don't think you can go wrong with Brave New World. I think those three, you're good. I think you'll
Mm.
find tunes that you like, and I think you'll probably get second a second breath of life for maybe discovering more Maiden. And I'm definitely gonna say Invisible Seal would be the one I would choose for Priest because it's
Yeah.
if you're gonna listen to some new stuff, it's just such a fucking great record. And real quick before we go, it's one of the few metal records I did not hear anybody complain about.
No.
Like,
No
which
bad
is
reviews.
wild, dude. Like that
Yeah.
never happens. There's always somebody. dude, all my friends, I'm like, "Did you hear the new Priest? Yeah, dude, it's fucking badass." Like
Yeah.
every one of my friends, there was not a person that was like, "I didn't like it. Oh, I
Yeah.
thought it sucked." I
Watch
mean,
this. I'll start the death match early. You didn't hear that about Senjutsu, did you?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There you go. Yeah, and you're not wrong. You're really not wrong. I do like that record quite a bit, but you're not wrong.
Mhm.
Speaking of that, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for
Mhm.
checking out the show. If it's your first time, I hope you laughed with us. I hope you got angry with us. Hope we made you think a bit, and I hope you're going to listen to some Maiden and some Priests today.
Yeah.
And as always, be good yourselves, be good to others, especially in times like this. And text a friend, call a friend, see how they're doing, check in on them, and say you found a great new podcast called Mixtapes. Talk to you guys soon.